peculiar thrill in knowing that history isn't confined to the pages of old books or the faded echoes of ancient tales. It's living, breathing entity that encompasses us on every journey. Today, we set off on a drive that weaves together the grandeur of century-old forts and the pleasure of driving. We begin at the Shivneri Fort, the very cradle of a legend. This ancient stronghold is the birthplace of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and is a silent witness to centuries of conquest and cultural evolution. Once held by the Mauryas, then the Chalukyas and later by the Mughals, this fort has seen empires rise and fall, nurturing the revolutionary spirit that would reshape our subcontinent. Now today we drive to 5 different forts in our very own 21st century chariot, and the chariot of choice is the Honda Elevate. In a way, it's like witnessing history come alive in the modern chariot because it's a car built to navigate the urban jungles and the rugged landscapes alike, much as Shivaji Maharaj once navigated the treacherous terrain of his time. Now, Shivneri is our starting point, and that is because this fort is more than simply a fortification. It's a cornerstone of an empire, and it influenced the mind of the future king. Reaching this fort in the 1600s was a difficult task that required perseverance and strategic thinking. However, today we have something slightly more pleasant. Now, unlike the foot soldiers who braved these treacherous paths centuries ago, today, thanks to Honda's clever engineering, our journey is more akin to a leisurely spin. Under the hood is a 1.5-litre naturally aspirated i-VTEC engine delivering 119 brake horsepower, an output that would have made the 17th century cavalry blush. Now, coupled to that is a CVT gearbox, and the drive is so smooth it almost feels like the silk trade under Shivaji Maharaj's reign. Now, Maharaj was raised here. He was trained in the art of warfare and was taught the importance of fort in a military strategy. In many ways, his vision was about adaptability, much like what Honda has achieved with the Elevate, a city-friendly SUV that is just as capable when the roads become, well, less than ideal. Now, leaving behind the birthplace of a king, we set our sights on the Sinhagad Fort, nestled atop rugged slopes. Sinhagad was formerly known as Kondhana and was more than just a military outpost. It's a precipitous cliff guarded vital routes and regional territories, making it a linchpin of strategic defense in an era when every stone and crevice counted. If you were planning a siege in the 17th century, you'd probably take a strategic hidden approach. But since we're not carrying any swords or shields, we're taking the open road, arguably a much better choice. The route from Shivneri to Sinhagad starts in a very deceptively smooth climb before it gets very aggressive and quite steep, mimicking the very battles fought along these routes. Now, Sinhagad was once known as Kondhana, as I said earlier, and it was one of the sites for the most daring battles in the Maratha history. Now, Tanaji Malusare, who was Shivaji's trusted general, scaled these cliffs at night with the help of an unconventional mate. It was a trained monitor lizard. However, Honda has taken a different approach with our chariot today, the Elevate, which gets a ground clearance of 220mm, which is just not class leading in this segment, but is the perfect choice for the trails we are encountering today. And it reminds us that this fort wasn't just merely built with stone and sacrifice, but was also a part of strategic genius. Tanaji won the battle against Udayban Rathod but lost his life in the process, prompting Shivaji Maharaj to declare Gad ala Panch Sinhagela. The fort is captured but the lion is lost, echoed through these walls. And the name from Kondhana was then changed to Sinhagad, which means the lion's fort. Now our adventure continues to the Torna Fort, which is steeped in young bravado and the spark of rebellion. Captured by the fearless Shivaji Maharaj at the age of 16, the mighty fort not only represents the beginning of the Maratha Empire, but it also stands as the highest hill fort in the Pune district. At 16, most of us were concerned with passing our driving test and not leading a military operation. Torna is a monument to the ambition, a bold first step that lit the flame of Swarajya or freedom. Like that youthful boldness, the Honda Elevate is built for those who dare to dream big on the modern roads. With its nimble performance and its bold butch aesthetic, it's the perfect choice for young dreamers who dare to aim high. The Marathas, they used guerrilla warfare, striking quickly and then vanishing into the hills, rather like how a good crossover should be able to adapt to any terrain. Now Honda has done their bit of the adaptation, ensuring that this SUV is just as at home on the city streets as on the hilly mountain passes we're facing today. Now what you see behind me is the Torna Fort. It has an elevation of 1403 meters above the sea level, which makes it the highest fort in the Pune district. Now to give you a context of that, our drone that we've been using through the day to shoot all the aerial shots can only go up to 120 meters. That is 1403 meters high. And clearly you can see I am not made for the active outdoorsy lifestyle. The road ends here and the trek begins, which is a moderate difficulty level 2 trek. So I'm not going to do that. I'm now going to get into the cool, comfy cabin and head on towards the next fort. Our next stop is the Purandar Fort, where martial might was not the only thing that counted. It was also important in terms of diplomacy. Once a vital negotiation table between the Marathas and the Mughals, Purandar was an arena of statecraft divided into the upper Balakilla and the lower Machi. Its temples and storied bastions speak of an era when battles were fought as much with wit as with weaponry. Now this is where the Treaty of Purandar was signed in the year 1665. Shivaji Maharaj negotiated with the Mughals over here, proving that battles aren't always won with swords. And speaking of negotiations, let's talk about Honda's approach to modern day driving. You get a 10.25-inch infotainment touchscreen, which is excellent diplomatic tool for negotiating tricky routes, ensuring that you always know exactly where you are going thanks to wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And taking this up a notch is the fact that you also get wireless charging, so that you don't have to carry any cables around because you're not in the 16th century. Now, a lot of you might have already known about the conflict between the Marathas and the Mughals for the Purandar Fort, but not a lot of you will know about this, that in the 19th century, specifically the year 1818, the British captured the Purandar Fort and was used as a prison for the Indian freedom fighters who were against the British Raj. Later on, the Germans had ownership of the Purandar Fort, and at that time it was used as an intermittent camp for the German families during the World War II. And today, in the present day, it is used as an Indian Army training center, because of which the camera crew can't come inside with their expensive equipment. So I'm just going to go explore it by myself. I'll come back and we'll head to our final destination. See you in a bit. Now we head to the grand finale, the crown jewel of the Maratha defenses, the Raigad Fort. This was the capital where Shivaji Maharaj was crowned, a living tribute to the visionary monarch and the beating heart of an empire. Now something very unexpected happened. We were earlier supposed to go to Raigad from a route that Google Maps was showing, and now it's shown us a faster route. And that takes us to one of my favorite driving routes, the Tamini Ghat. And it's going to save us a lot of time because I'm going to shift it in sport. You get paddle shifters and then you get going to actually feel this. Now the best part about driving the Honda Elevate is that it always is in the back of your head that it has 220 mm of ground clearance, which means you sit quite high. Whenever you're in the driving seat, you see those two big haunches on the hood, which gives you quite a commanding position, a throne-like position from behind the seat. But then when you get this thing going and put it in corners, it's so planted, the suspension feels so right, and you can actually push it to feel like an enthusiast driving from behind the wheel. Raigad captures the very core of the Maratha spirit with its massive bastions and the acoustically constructed courts. The stories like Hirkani, the milkmaid who risked her life for her child's sake, Raigad is a citadel of enduring power and imaginative leadership. Every stone echoes stories of triumph, sacrifice, and the unwavering pursuit of liberty and Swarajya. The Honda Elevate is a modern citadel that reflects its legacy with contemporary safety features like Honda's sensing ADAS and a design that emanates unflinching confidence. It is designed to face today's challenges with the same fortitude and the forethought that fashioned these ancient marvels. The ancient forts we've visited today were designed to last and not merely to fend off enemy assault, but to withstand the inexorable passage of time itself. The enduring presence is a reminder that the strength lies in resilience, adaptability, and the commitment for preserving the past while forging the future. The Honda Elevate embodies these very principles. Every journey in the Elevate is a chance to unlock a little more of history, to connect with the legends of the past, and to drive confidently in the ever-evolving future. History is more than just what happened in the past, it's something we drive forward to.